South Buffalo Elementary School presents Monologue Mania! A series of monologues portraying a moment in time from the perspective of two different people.
Bedtime Blues of a Big Sister.
I don't want you to think that I'm being a brat, because I'm not. All I'm asking for is a little equality here. I don't think that's being unreasonable. In fact, I think it is quite unreasonable that I'm being treated in such an unfair and unjust manner. How can it be that Kendra, who is 2 years younger than me, has the exact same bedtime as I do? Does that seem fair to you? That I have to go to bed at the same time as my little sister? My little sister who still sleeps with stuffed animals? All I'm asking for is a little more time, an hour more. That way it will at least be dark out. Don't you think it's strange that a girl my age is going to bed when the sun is still out? I should be outside playing ball and riding my bike, not laying in bed staring at the ceiling. Because that's what I do, you know. I'd lay up there forever just staring at the ceiling. Did you know there are 3 cracks in it? Did you? Well, I do. You'll have to admit that there are better things to do with my time, right? But what can I do when I'm not even tired that early? Yeah, I know. I'm tired sometimes in the morning, but that doesn't mean I need more sleep. It means that I need to be playing outside so I can actually fall asleep when it's time for bed. Doesn't that just make more sense? Look, I'll even settle for half an hour. That way, it will at least be dark out. When I was her age, I was going to bed an hour earlier than she is now. An hour earlier. Doesn't she need more rest than I do? Just think about it, okay? I think you'll see that I'm not asking for much. Everyone will be happier this way. You'll see.
Bedtime Blues of a Little Sister.
My friend Kara's brother is so spoiled. He gets everything he wants. He has tons of sport equipment that he barely even touches, and he has practically every video game on the market. Kara said it's because her dad really likes hanging out with him. Well, shouldn't he like hanging out with Kara too? I'm glad my parents aren't like that. Everything is equal around our house. If mom takes us to the store and lets us pick out a treat, then my sister and I both get one. At Christmas, we both have the exact same number of presents to open. I know because we've counted. If mom or dad takes one of us somewhere special, then the other one gets to go the next time. Like dad knows I like going to baseball games just as much as Delaney does. I feel sorry for Kara. I can't imagine how it feels to have a brother who's the favorite. Thank goodness my parents don't act that way. Everything is fair and equal around our house. Even bedtimes. I know that bugs Delaney since she's older, but really, does 2 years make that much difference? It would be silly for me to go to bed before her. It's practically daylight when I go to bed now. Does she think that I should go straight to bed as soon as I finish dinner? If she would stop whining and really think things through, she would see that it just makes more sense to keep things equal. Maybe she thinks that she's special because she's older. But what if mom and dad got me things just because I was younger? I bet she wouldn't like that one bit.
Mom's Mushy Meatballs. From her son's perspective, he thought he might want to be a chef, but not anymore.
I wish I'd never told my mom I wanted to be a chef one day. Ever since then, she's had me in the kitchen learning every recipe Grandma Lola's ever taught her. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the work or spending time with my mom. Not that. I don't want that broadcast around the school or anything. No, what bugs me is the stuff I've learned, the stuff I didn't even want to learn. I can't even look at the same food the same way anymore. For instance, meatballs, yummy, right? One of my favorites. Well, at least they used to be. Want to know what goes into meatballs? Eggs! Eggs and mushy wet bread. I'm serious. You actually soak the bread in water and squeeze the water out of it. And eggs aren't supposed supposed to be for dinner, are they? They're for breakfast. I thought meatballs were just made from meat. And then there are the onions, the stinky, smelly, make your eyes water onions. They're practically in everything. And if there aren't onions, there's big cloves of garlic that make your hands stink from chopping them. How can these foods make things taste so good when they smell so bad? Here's the real kicker. Do you know what goes into spaghetti sauce? Sugar! Who wants sweet spaghetti sauce? And even though I can't really taste the eggs, mushy wet bread, onions, garlic, and sugar, I know it's in there. That's it. I've had enough. Tonight at dinner, I'm gonna tell my mom I want to be an engineer.
Mom's mushy meatballs. As a mom, you're so excited to discover that your son wants to be a chef.
Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather when Jordan told me that he wanted to be a chef. He seemed more like a future astronaut or fireman kind of kid, but I'm not complaining. It's been so much fun having him in the kitchen with me, working side by side. I love that I get to pass down all of our family recipes to him. My mother would be so proud. And one day, when he's cooking up all these fantastic recipes for his family, his wife will be thanking me. It is so funny watching him learn his way around the kitchen, too. There is so much he doesn't know. He's in awe of pretty much everything. You should have seen his face when I taught him how to dip the bread in water and wring it out like a dish rag when we were making meatballs the other day. Pure and utter shock. It makes me laugh when he's crying like a little baby chopping onions. If only his soccer friends could see him then. But his secret is safe with me. I love that I get to show him all the tricks of the trade. When I run out of family recipes, I may have to buy some cookbooks. My boy, a chef? Who would have thought?
Trouble with tag. The students have just found out that the school has banned playing tag. One student decides to talk to the principal.
How can this happen, Mrs. Keys? Who would have thought of such a crazy thing? You can't do this. You're taking away our right to be kids. More importantly, you're taking away our right to have fun. Surely it's not too late to stop the ban on tag. It was bad enough when the school banned dodgeball, but I get that. I understand, Mrs. Keys, that kids could get hurt playing that, but tag? What's wrong with tag? I've never known anyone who's got hurt playing tag. And you want us running around exercising, don't you? It violates the school's no contact policy? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Tag, Mrs. Keys, tag. Kids have been playing it for years, for decades, probably for centuries. And can we not play baseball now either? Because how could you ever get a person out if you can't touch them? And what if I'm walking down the hall and I accidentally trip and touch the person in front of me? Am I going to get suspended for that? For tripping? And what about recess, Mrs. Keys? What are we supposed to do at recess now? Sit and stare at each other? You might as well take recess away from us since there's nothing left for us to do anyways. No, wait, I didn't mean that. I'm just upset. I didn't mean that you should cancel recess. We'll find something to do out there. Hey, maybe we can read a book or something.
I wonder how the principal feels about the ban on tag.
Some days, I don't like my job very much. Today is one of those days. Not because of the students. They are great. Most of the time, at least. Not even because of the really long hours I work. But I do get tired of those sometimes. No, today I do not like my job because someone, somewhere, made a really dumb decision and now I have to enforce it, smiling and acting like I agree with it. Today, I had to make the announcement that our school will not allow students to play tag anymore. Is this something I wanted to do? No. Is this something I agree with? No, but my hands are tied.
The school board says because our no contact policy ensures that we respect each other's personal space. Playing tag will open our school to lawsuits. Lawsuits! Can't you believe that? That a parent would actually sue a school over something as normal as a simple game of tag? Well, according to the school board, someone has. That's why they decided to ban tag from our school. It makes me so sad. When I was younger, I used to love playing it. Tag, you're it. The memories. Me and my friends would play it for hours. Regular tag, freeze tag, shadow tag. It was all so much fun. My own kids even play it now. I don't even know if the school board will expect the kids to play at recess now. Tag was a great way to get exercise. In this high-tech world we live in, it's a miracle to simply get kids running around outside. Why would we want to take tag away from them? But I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. Now everyone is looking at me like I'm the bad guy, Mrs. Keys, the fun killer. That's what they call me now. Who can blame them? That's exactly how I feel.
We call him Chewy. How do you tell your teacher that your baby brother ate your homework?
Miss Trimble, I know at the beginning of the year you said that you would not accept any "my dog ate the homework" excuses, and I promise you that this is not just one of those fake "I just didn't do my homework" situations. In fact, you're probably going to laugh when I tell you about what really happened, even though I know not having my homework is serious business around here. But here's what happened. See, my baby brother Sam ate my homework. That's crazy, right? Like, why would Sam want to eat a disgusting piece of paper? But let me tell you, that kid eats anything and everything. We call him Chewy. You couldn't even imagine how many times my mom or dad have had to take him to the emergency room to get an x-ray. My dad says that one day he's gonna glow from all that radiation. We've been lucky so far. Everything that has gone in has eventually come out, if you know what I mean. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I left my homework out so that Chewy could eat it. That is a valid question, and let me tell you, I did not leave it out. You see, none of us knew that Chewy could work a zipper. He's not even walking yet. My mom says it's actually quite an accomplishment at his age. She actually looked quite impressed when I told her. But that's beside the point. The point is that my homework was safe inside my backpack, or at least I thought so. Look, you can even see where he chewed on this book a little bit, right here on the corner. I hope you can see that none of this was my fault. I swear I would never not do the homework that you assign. So what do you say? Can I turn in the assignment tomorrow? I promise I will never let Chewy near any of my paperwork or my backpack ever again. We can pinky swear on it if you want.
We call him Chewy, the teacher's perspective. As a teacher, you have heard many homework excuses. This one seems unbelievable.
Every year, I tell my husband that I've heard it all. I've heard the last possible excuse a student could give me for not having his or her homework assignment. But then, every year, I have to eat my words because some desperate student will come to me with something new, some wild, unbelievable story about why they need more time to turn in the homework assignment. Of course, they never want special treatment, but surely I can bend the rules a little, since it absolutely, positively was not their fault. You won't believe some of the things I've heard. I can't turn in the homework assignment, Mrs. Tribble, because, well, my car's air conditioning went out, so we had to roll down the windows. And then my paper just blew out. I wanted to grab it, but it all happened so fast.
Or the creative.
I don't want to name any names here, Mrs. Tribble, but I gave my homework to a friend a copy, and he never gave it back.
Of course, you can never depend on writing tools. I wanted to finish the homework, but the lead ran out in my pencil, so I grabbed a pen, but it ran out of ink, and I couldn't find another one in the whole house. Once, a student even said to me, this is really embarrassing, Mrs. Tribble, but my mom is on a really tight budget because of my parents' divorce, and we ran out of toilet paper, so... And sometimes, disaster just strikes. I wanted to finish my homework assignment, Mrs. Tribble, but when I was getting in the bath, and I was in the bath, I got soap in my eyes, and I made it all blurry, and I couldn't get it out, and when I woke up in the morning, it was already too late to get it done. Or, my personal favorite, I didn't do the homework assignment, Mrs. Tribble, because my mom forgot to do it for me. I have to admit, that one definitely gave me a chuckle. But now, I'm supposed to believe that this kid's baby brother just ate his homework? Come on, you're gonna have to do better than that.
Ban on gum, the student's perspective.
I don't see why it has to be a rule. Is it even legal for the school to forbid us to chew gum? It's not like there's an age limit or law against it. Why does my school even care what I put in my mouth? And don't dentists recommend chewing sugar-free gum after every meal to keep from getting cavities? Wait, does that mean I can sue the school if I get a cavity since they won't allow me to chew gum? Makes sense, doesn't it? They act like it's evil or something. Well, I'll tell you what's evil. Max Thompson's breath. I have to sit next to him in science. And it's so bad, I end up holding my breath the whole time. I can't even focus on what the teacher's saying because all I can think about is Max's smelly breath. But all of that can be fixed with just one piece of minty fresh gum. I could see if they banned blowing bubbles because that can be annoying and distracting. But regular old chewing, what's the harm? I think we should go on strike until they change their minds or let them vote on it. We can do that, right? Or that's the democratic way of doing things, isn't it? It's all right, isn't it? Well, isn't it?
Ban on gum, the teacher perspective.
So, the buzz on the street is that the new administration office is thinking about lifting the ban on chewing gum here at our school. What principal would ever think that allowing gum in school is a good idea? Do they know how many books will have pages stuck together with gum? Or seats and desks that will have gum stuck to the bottom? We have some of that now, and we don't even allow gum in the building. It'll be a free-for-all. Do they really think that the no blowing bubbles clause is going to work? How am I going to police that? I can't investigate every little pop I hear. How am I going to teach when the kids are popping their gum and blowing bubbles the size of their faces? It will be impossible. And what about the time I'm going to have to take gum out of their hair and their clothes? Ugh. And those sticky little hands. They won't keep the gum in their mouths, even if there's a clause that says they have to. They will be pulling on it like a piece of taffy. This is just a nightmare. I may have to transfer schools. Surely there are other schools smart enough to keep gum out of the hands of little children. If I had my way, kids wouldn't be able to chew gum until they graduate from high school, maybe even college. I know that we try and be a school that encourages children to make their own smart decisions, but this is just asking for trouble. They're still kids. How can we be smart enough to take soda and candy out of our vending machines, but give them little gum hand grenades?
Ace in your face, the little brother's perspective. He is frustrated that he has to go to his sister's volleyball games all the time.
Twice a week in tournaments on weekends seems a little excessive, doesn't it? I don't see why volleyball has so many games in a season. Feels like all we do anymore is go to my sister's games. I don't even know why I have to go. I understand why mom and dad have to. They're her parents. Why me? Mom says we have to be supportive of each other in everything. I remember this one time, my sister was in the spelling bee. We were the only ones in the crowd. The only ones. At first, the teacher wasn't even sure she could allow us to stay. But in the end, after mom talked to her for a little while, she did. We just had to promise not to cheer or anything when Allison got a word right. When Allison won, I practically had to hold my mom's hand so she wouldn't clap. Although, it's pretty hard not to clap about that. At least I don't have to be quiet here. Yelling, cheering, stomping, it's the only thing that keeps me awake. Mom won't let me bring electronics of any kind. Actually, nothing of any kind. Not even homework or a piece of paper to draw on. She says we're just here to watch. And she points out the other parents who are on their phones why they even bother to come. So what's he got to do when he's bored out of his mind? I guess you could say I've become the #1 cheerleader of my sister's team. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I've come up with some pretty good cheers like ACE in your FACE and spike. That's what we like. I even have a clapping one where I get everyone in the stands to clap. I've become quite popular with the crowd. I guess being here isn't all that bad.
Ace in your face, the mother's perspective. She has realized that even though he is the #1 fan, her son has become too distracting.
Benjamin is the best brother ever. Look at him getting the crowd to cheer for Allison during her volleyball game. He has everyone up on their feet clapping and chanting. He is so creative too, making up his own cheers. I love the ACE in your FACE cheer. And you usually only see this kind of enthusiasm from crowds at basketball or football games, never at girls' volleyball games. I'm so proud of him to not only be here for Allison, but to be such a big fan of hers. He's the entertainment, the super fan that everyone watches. It's going to break his heart when I tell him Allison doesn't want him to come to the games anymore, but I guess I can understand her point. She complains that he's distracting the team. She even says that crowd cares more about what he's doing in the stands than what the team is doing on the court. But I don't think that's true. Now she wants me to tell him to stay home from now on. Just look at him. How am I ever gonna do this?
Boredom blues, from the child's perspective.
My mother must think I'm part snowman or something. She said I had to go outside even though it's freezing out. She's one of those people who believes that fresh air will do you good, so she practically shoved me out the door. Fresh air? It's so cold out here, I can barely breathe. I can't even feel my toes, and I've got 2 pairs of socks on. Perhaps, Mother dear, we should take our cues from the bears and hibernate all winter. No one should be out of this. Can't you see the icicles hanging off our roof? Isn't that enough to prove that it's cold as a freezer out here? I knew I should have never complained about being bored. That is like the worst mistake you can make around our house. Usually if I complain of being bored, Mom says she'll do something about that. Then she gives me something dumb to do, like rub mayonnaise on the leaves of our indoor plants. I'm not kidding. Mayo on plants? Where does she even get ideas like that? One time I had to empty every kitchen cabinet, wipe it out, and reorganize it. It took me all day, but at least it made sense. I guess I knew better than to complain of being bored. But we're on our 4th snow day, and days are feeling kind of long. Nothing good is on TV, and I've beaten every video game I own. But anything would have been better than this. I never dreamed she tried to turn me into the abominable snowman. Maybe I can get her to let me in if I have to rub some more mayo on her plans.
Boredom Blues, Mother's Perspective.
My grandfather always told me that idle hands are the devil's workshop, that being bored can only lead to getting into trouble. That's why it drives me insane when my kids have the nerve to complain that they're bored. Bored? Bored? Do you know what I would give to be bored? There's so many things around here to do. Can't they see me running around like a crazy person? I have a list like a mile long. But just mention something I'd like to get done, and then suddenly no one's bored. It's funny how it works like that. I guess they aren't quite bored enough, are they? I always tell them to get something to do, or I will give them something to do. That usually helps spur the imagination. But if that doesn't work, I send them outside. The way I see it, good air, fresh air, is perfect for the soul. Gets the body moving and knocks the cobwebs off. The way they'd be telling you it seems like I'd be forcing them to live out there forever. I can see Jenny's face at the door already. Her nose pressed to the glass like a little puppy. She can't be serious. She's been out there for less than 5 minutes. Guess it's time to break out the chore list. Somebody I know needs something to do.
Freddy the Faker. Freddy is dismayed and angry because he's often sick and everyone thinks he's faking it.
Holy. My mom says that germs must absolutely love me because I can't let a single one go by without it infecting me. I've had every childhood disease there is. Whooping cough, pink eye, stomach flu, ear infections, strep throat, tonsillitis, bronchitis, pneumonia, and COVID. Well, this goes on and on. If you can think of it, I've had it. Sometimes more than once. When I got the whooping cough for the first time, yes, you heard that right, the first time, my doctor didn't believe it. I had already been vaccinated. But she really didn't believe it when I got it a second time. That just doesn't happen. I'm allergic to mold, dust, dogs, cats, milks, wheat, and peanuts. Do you know how hard it is to never be able to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Or drink a glass of milk with my gluten-free cookies? And the kids at school call me Freddy the Faker. They think I fake being sick so that I can miss school. I sure wish that was true. I wish I was a walking germ magnet. I miss everything. Last year, I missed the holiday party, the band concert, the talent show, and Valentine's Day. And I missed so many days of school. I had to get a tutor to help me get caught up. Everyone thinks I'm staying home, having a blast. They couldn't have been more wrong. Trust me, if I could, I would be in school every day.
Freddy the Faker, the friend.
Is Freddy sick again? That boy's never in school. I think he's missed more days than he's been here. He is so lucky. Staying home all the time? What a life. I bet his mom lets him stay home for every little sniffle. If he even has a sniffle. My guess is he's a little faker. Freddie the faker. My mom never lets me miss. I have to be running a high fever before she even considers it. I'm serious. It has to be at least 101 before she'll even declare it a fever. She just tells me to drink juice in order to feel better, like it's some kind of magic potion. And then she sends me out to catch the bus. The one time I had a rash all over my arms and legs. But did that stop my mother from sending me to school? No. Only that backfired on her because as soon as the nurse saw me, she made my mom come and get me. You'd think that that'd be good for at least a few days off of school. But no. She took me to the doctors and got a note that said I wasn't contagious. No one would even sit near me. Man, Freddie the Faker has it made. I bet he gets to stay home and watch TV all day long. And I bet his mom waits on him hand and foot. And he probably even has a little bell that he rings when he wants something. Now that would be pretty awesome.
Gotcha last. A student is pleading his case with the principal. He is trying to convince the principal that he did not hit another student. He is very scared that he will get detention.
Mr. Peabody, please! You have to see that all of this is one big misunderstanding. See, I know it looked like I was hitting Toby Wilson, but I swear that I wasn't. Well, okay, I was giving him a little jab in the arm, but it's not like that. It's just the game we play called Gotcha Last. It goes like this. See, if we see each other in a hall or cafeteria, we see who can tag the other person last. See, it's more of a game of tag than anything. Well, I look like a hit, but it really isn't. Think about it. Mr. Peabody, why would I want to hit Toby? He's my best friend in the whole world. We're practically brothers. We haven't had one fight. Not one. He's the last person I would hit. Okay, don't look at me like that. It's not like I would ever hit anybody. It's just I would hit Toby. Yeah, I think you did. But I didn't. You have to understand that. I promise that. If you would have looked earlier, you would have seen Toby hit me first. No, wait, put down the phone. I didn't mean Toby should be in trouble too. He didn't actually hit me. Maybe if I just showed you. Gotcha last. See, right? It's funny. Mr. Peabody.
Gotcha last. The principal.
If it's not one thing, it's another. I never thought I'd have Greg Jones in my office for hitting. But here he is, squirming like a worm on a hook, giving me some silly story about a game of, what did he call it, Gotcha Last? I'll tell you who got him last. Me. Caught him red-handed in the act of punching Toby Wilson. You should have seen his face when I told him to report to my office. I thought they were buddies too. I just don't understand why kids can't keep their hands to themselves these days. Because why would you go around hitting someone? Did they cut in line? Look at you, honey. Who knows these days? After all that violence they see on TV and video games, it's no wonder they resort to hitting for every little problem that comes along. It's a punch on the arm today, tomorrow, who knows? You have to stop these behaviors in their tracks. It's up to us to teach these kids that hitting is never the right answer. Do I want you to show me? No, I do not. Greg Jones, did you just try to hit me? No, I am not laughing, and no, you did not get me last. You're in some big, big trouble now, mister.
Facebook crazy mom, the son's perspective. The son finds it humiliating that his mother posts everything about his life on Facebook.
When was the last time I got a haircut? Or what we ate for dinner last Saturday night? Or how about seeing pictures of me in my bathing suit at the beach 2 summers ago? Or how about seeing pictures of a baby? A little hunk of a boy with red baby acne all over my face? Yeah, you can learn just about anything about me courtesy of my mom and Facebook. She posts absolutely everything on her page. Everything. I'm serious about knowing what we ate for dinner last Saturday night. You can see about anything we've eaten for the last 3 or 4 years. How weird is that? Does my mom really think anyone cares about what we eat for dinner? It's just not fair. If I'm too young for a Facebook page, then my life should be off limits. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have every minute of your life posted online? Man, I can't even see it unless someone shows it to me. And believe me, they do. My mom thinks that they can't see it, but their older brothers and sisters do. She posts one bad picture of me, which she thinks is funny. The next thing I know, it's on everyone's cell phone the next day. I can't tell you how many people have downloaded my fat baby pictures. The girls in my class giggle and tell me that I was so cute when I was little. One girl actually said that she wanted to pinch my chubby baby cheeks. How do I get a girl to look at me the same way? How will I ever get a girlfriend? When they look at me, all they will see is my chubby baby cheeks. Or worse yet, my first bath pictures.
Facebook Crazy Mom, the mom's perspective. The mom responds to her son's concern through a Facebook video blog.
I don't know why Carson's so upset. All moms post pictures of their family events on Facebook. It's a great way for me to stay connected with all my friends and family and for them to see what's going on in our lives. Imagine what people would think if I didn't post anything. They'd think that our family life was boring, pathetic, and not worthy of posting. Or worse yet, they think I wasn't proud of Carson and all the things he does. Of course I want everyone to see when he gets an A on a paper or a trophy for being the most improved soccer player. What parent wouldn't want the world to know that? What's so embarrassing about that anyway? Isn't he proud of what he accomplishes? He should be. It's not wrong to do a little bragging when you work so hard to get something. My friend sure doesn't have a problem bragging about all the things her kids do. I don't want her to think she's the only one who has a son who wins awards, or that her family is the only one who can afford to go on a beautiful, beautiful white sandy beach and take gorgeous professional family pictures while the sun is setting behind them. So what if I post pictures of the food we're eating? I think it's cool to support local businesses and give them a shout out when they prepare great food. I'm a very loyal customer. Besides, it's not like Carson or his friends can even see what I post. They're all too young to have their own pages. Maybe by the time he's 13, he'll realize how great it is that I've documented his life for him. He'll look back and be happy to see all the pictures, even if some of them are of food, and thank me for being such a good, proud mom.
Keep your feet to yourself. This little kindergarten child is disappointed when someone in her class ruined her new Easter shoes.
I knew I never should have worn my new shoes to school. But how was I to know Hannah Brookstone will stomp her feet over my new white shoes? Now they're ruined. Look at these black scuff marks. How am I supposed to go to Easter service looking like this? My mom warned me about wearing them to school, but I promised her I would take extra good care of them. Well, I did. I can't help it that Hannah didn't keep her feet to herself. She probably did it on purpose too. She's always mean to everyone, pushing them in the hall and accidentally bumping into them. These shoes were like a magnet to her. Must ruin shoes. She probably grunted to herself as she walked all over my new white shoes. She's what my grandma calls a bull in a china shop. Mom was right. I never should have worn my new shoes to school, but I was just too excited to wait until Sunday. I never ever get new shoes. I always get my cousin Jenna's hand-me-downs or shoes from the second-hand store. I was just too excited when I got the package from Grandma. They were perfect. Look, they even have a little bow with a jewel in the middle. Did I mention they were perfect? Not one single scuff mark on them. At least there wasn't one until Hannah stomped all over my new shoes. I might as well wear Jenna's shoes for the rest of the school year. Why did I wear these shoes?
Keep your shoes to yourself. This kindergarten student is feeling sad and a bit frustrated. She didn't mean to mess up her classmates' shoes.
I'm so clumsy. Why can't I walk like a normal kid? Sometimes I swear I have 2 left feet. I'm always stumbling or tripping or bumping into someone. It doesn't help that I'm practically a foot taller than everyone else in my class. I look like a giant compared to some of them. So can I help it that I bump into them all the time? They shouldn't stop so suddenly in front of me. It's not like I don't feel bad about it. I do. I just wish everyone would stay out of my way. Well, not really, because I don't want to be alone or anything. But I'm tired of people looking at me like I'm some sort of giant monster. Like Sarah. Look at her over there crying over her new white shoes. You should have seen her face when I accidentally stepped on her foot. She looked like she was terrified of me, like I'd done it on purpose. But I swear I didn't. It was an accident. Now Mrs. Hamilton is making me apologize to her, which is fine, because I do feel bad about it, and I can tell she looks really upset. I just wish everyone would see that wasn't totally my fault. Why was Sarah standing so close to me anyways? Who's to say it was even me who put those scuff marks on them? She could have done that way before I stepped on her stupid foot. Bottom line is, maybe she shouldn't have worn those fancy white shoes to school. Then none of this would have happened.
Best day ever. Student perspective.
I thought that would be lame when Miss Henderson announced that this year's theme would be Aloha Hawaii. I've already been to 3 fake beach parties this summer alone. How many more limbo games could I endure? But boy, was I wrong. This year's theme day was the best in the history of the school, I bet. The teachers went above and beyond what I could have ever imagined. Not only did they decorate the classrooms, but the hallways and the outside as well. It looked like a real Hawaiian tiki hut. When we got into school in the morning, they lined us up and put us through airport security. And then they escorted us to our seats on the plane. The teachers acted like flight attendants. And our gym teacher and art teacher flew the plane and landed us safely on the island of Maui. Well, not really Maui, but they sure did transform each of the classrooms with palm trees, white fluffy clouds, coconuts, seashells, all that you could imagine. They even had squawking bird noises and real ocean sounds. We all got Hawaiian flower leis and goodie bags filled with tropical treats. When we went outside, we did hula dancing, we ate pineapple and mango, and we were bowling with coconuts. When we got back into the classroom, it was completely silent. I think that we all had too much fresh air. But I'm telling you, this was the best theme day ever.
Worst day ever. Teacher perspective.
I really thought we hit it out of the park this year with our Aloha Hawaii theme day. It definitely was better than last year's romping rodeo and way better than a few years back when we did the Pioneer Days. Sometimes picking the theme alone takes weeks of meeting, but this year the teachers decided on the very first vote. We all had tons of ideas we couldn't wait to put into action. The hallway airplane ride was genius. The kids seemed to enjoy it. I know they got a kick out of us serving them crackers and lemonade with little umbrellas that we pushed down the middle of the hall. Some of us were here until after midnight, decorating and setting things up. We wanted everything to be perfect. I can't tell you how many hours we spent decorating and planning the food and games. Thank goodness we had tons of parent volunteers too. Mr. Ridley's tiki hut outside was incredible. I thought the kids would be raving about how great it all was when we came inside at the end of the day, but they were all subdued and quiet. Just makes me even bother if we should do another theme day again. Maybe with technology the way it is, kids just don't get impressed with things like this anymore. How sad.
The unexpected visitor. It's grandparents' day at school, but someone's grandmother is in the hospital.
We went to visit my grandma Dolores in the hospital last night. You can tell she's doing a lot better. She was laughing, telling her usual stories, and even ate everything they brought her for dinner. Mom says she's probably going to go home tomorrow, which really, really stinks. Not because she gets to go home. I'm really glad about that. But tomorrow will be too late. Today is Grandparents' Day at school. Today is the day I wanted, actually needed her to come to school. My other grandparents live in Texas. They definitely aren't going to make it. My grandma Dolores always comes. Now, this is going to be the worst day ever. Wait a minute. Why is my neighbor Mrs. Lawson here? She doesn't even have a grandchild in my class. I don't even think she has kids. Only a couple of cats. I should go ask her if she's lost. Wait. Why is she sitting down in the chair right beside my desk? The chair for my grandma. Hey, guess what? She's going to be a stand-in for my grandma today. I must have been so surprised when I heard my jaw drop because Mrs. Lawson told me to close my mouth so I don't catch any flies. I love the way Mrs. Lawson can make me laugh.
The unexpected visitor. Mrs. Lawson is explaining to the teacher why she is substituting as grandmother for the day.
Why am I here? Well, let me tell you a story. I'll never forget the day when I was a little girl and won the school spelling bee. I was the youngest person on that stage that day, a grade or two younger than everyone else. But I was ready to take on the big dogs and prove that I really was the best speller in the whole school. Mom even bought me a new dress and new shoes and tied a pretty pink bow in my hair. I'll never forget that bow. It took up half my head, and I was so proud to wear it. I remember walking on stage and looking out at the first two rows where all the parents were sitting. I couldn't wait to see my mother's face in the crowd. I knew with a job at the factory that she could make every little thing I had at school. But this was a big thing, the biggest thing to my life to that point. She just had to be there. Sadly, she wasn't. I don't blame her for that. I know she wanted to be there. My mother was a good person and a loving mother, but it doesn't make it hurt any less knowing that she would have been there she could have. And that, Mrs. Adams, is why I'm here. Since Miss Dolores is sick and can't make it to Grandparents' Day, this is what I have to do. I'm going to be Bobby's grandma for the day, if you don't mind.